Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Social Security shenanigans and what the Republican Party might be intending, whether what Biden said is true about it being on the chopping block, and what's going to happen in 2023 because there are some changes. Okay, so first, the good news if Social Security is important to you. In 2023, 8.7% increase in Social Security payments. It's a cost of living adjustment. Why? It's inflation. That's why. It's the largest increase in 40 years. Medicare Part B will drop. The premium, I want to say it's going to drop like $5 a month. But it's the first time it's gone down in a decade. That's the good news. The bad news is the idea that Biden has put out there that Republicans want it on the chopping block. Is that true? Well, I mean, it certainly seems like it. You have Rick Scott and Ron Johnson, both saying they want to switch it from mandatory to discretionary. They want to have to reauthorize it every year or every 5 years, depending on the political candidate. Now, they say it's to make sure the money's there. Which, sure, I mean, that totally matches up with their rhetoric, right? Not really. The more likely reason is to eventually not reauthorize it, but in the meantime, use the reauthorization process as leverage to cut it, to cut payments, to trim the fat. If you are receiving Social Security, that you paid into for your entire life, you're the fat. By the way, that seems like the most likely reason to want to do it. Their rhetoric does not line up with what they're saying here. Bloomberg government had an interesting report saying, in part, Social Security and Medicare eligibility changes, spending caps, and safety net work requirements are among the top priorities for key House Republicans who want to use next year's debt limit deadline to extract concessions from Democrats. So the idea is that the Republican Party wants to just steer the U.S. towards a cliff when it comes to the debt limit. And if the Republican Party doesn't get its way, if the Democratic Party doesn't allow them to adjust entitlements, stuff that you paid into your entire life, or safety net stuff, well, they'll just steer us right over the cliff. That's what Bloomberg reporting is suggesting here. It is worth noting the Republican Study Committee has put out a thing. Basically, it's a plan to raise the eligibility for Social Security to 70 and for Medicare to 67, I think. Now, people are kind of acting like this would never happen because there's a Democratic president. It's not necessarily the case. If the Republican Party has enough leverage because they have control of the House, they might be able to push it through. They might be able to attach it to something that must pass. They might be able to find some leverage to basically threaten to crash the entire economy if they don't get their way. So I personally think that I would like to say that no politician would do that it's just bluster. But then again, we did all just watch them follow Trump try to, subvert the entire election. So maybe not. It seems to me like this idea is a little bit out there, but given what we've seen from the Republican Party lately, we can't really put it past them either. So there is a legitimate worry for Social Security, Medicare, stuff like that, if the Republican Party takes control of the House, the Senate. More so the House, I think. But that's where we're at. I find it hard to believe that there is a major political party in the United States that really does think that leverage is, basically steering the entire country into, economic ruin. But at the same time, I can't say no, they wouldn't do that, because their rhetoric and their record lately doesn't warrant me saying that. This is a theory that's been put out. Is it plausible? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Do I think they'll do it? I would hope not, but you never really know. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.